Hi, folks. Welcome to We Built This White Lake podcast. My name is Amy Van Loon. I'm the Executive Director of the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, and we are your host and sponsor for this series of podcasts where we are interviewing organizations and businesses in our community. And today we have with us the White Lake Golf Club. Welcome, gentlemen. Great to have you in the CatchMark Technology Studios. We have Frank Lundell, who is the president on the board for the White Lake Golf Club. And what number did you say you are?
I'm president number 21.
21. Wow, that's a legacy right there.
That is.
And we also have Bill Borgman, who is the golf professional and manager at the golf club. So with that, tell us a little bit about the White Lake Golf Club.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us. This whole theme of We Built This, we started building this in 1916.
Ah, thus the hat.
That's the hat. Now, I could probably take this hat off now.
Okay.
Now that the prop has been displayed. But yeah, we started in 1916,
Wow.
and the 21 presidents later, here I am. But this golf course is unique because it started with local people developing. It came up with the idea. They loved golf. They didn't have a golf course, so they 59 people came together back in 1916, and they bought what was the Mason tract of land just south of South Shore Drive. And that became the first 9 holes of the golf club. And they hired a well-known architect, Tom Bendelow, who was a peer of Don Ross at the time. And he started developing the golf course and has certain architectural aspects like chocolate drops, which are really mounded areas around greens, and down on the fairway as areas that could become a hazard if you go off the fairway, square greens, and so on. Mm-hmm. And as you'll learn more as we talk today, we're very involved with restoring a lot of our golf course back to some of the accents that Tom Bendelow started with. We hired architect out of Holland, Michigan, Raymond Hearn, who has been working very closely with us for the last 3 or 4 years, and we've done some really cool things. Again, that I'll talk about a little bit later. But sure. I wanted to point out that White Lake Golf Club is, we're 108 years old, and I find it kind of interesting when I think of how old I am. This golf course started just 30 years before I was born.
Wow!
Yeah,
oh,
right.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Sure.
It's just crazy.
Sure.
But so we are. Again, we are the only club in Muskegon County that is owned by its members.
Okay.
And there were others, but they've been bought up or they've become part of consortium golf courses and so on. But we still are owned by our own members and our what we call stock members or regular members. And we have an all-volunteer board. And I would like to name the names of the board and what they do, because I think that's kind of interesting. I think the community would enjoy hearing that.
Nice.
There are 11 board members, and of course I'm the president, and I'm a retired school administrator. We have Michelle Buchanan, who is a practicing dentist. She is our vice president and membership chair. I might add that our membership is at an all-time high. Bill Davis is a retired B-52 pilot, and he is our secretary. Also a member of the Sylvan Beach Association, which is so important that our golf club remain having a good foothold in that association that originally started the golf club. Frank Wieringo is a retired engineer. He is our treasurer. Kathy McGreal is a retired University of Illinois professor. She is our house chair. Rick McCombs is a retired attorney. Has residence in Chicago and here at Michelin Beach and on Scenic Drive. Ryan Briegel, local entrepreneur and business owner. George Jacobois actually lives in San Francisco area, but he, again, is a member of the Sylvan Beach Association. So it's nice having 2 people still in that anchoring part of our neighborhood that started this whole golf course. That started building this golf course. Then we have Jim Schweigert, who's now a retired medical doctor. And then we have the last 2 directors are both engineers, Kim Staten, who is our Greens chairman, and Don Nellis, who is our project coordinator. and for all the restoration that's going on. So there we are, kind of in a nutshell. I think it's interesting to know what these people do.
Absolutely.
And again, like I said, we're all
Yeah.
volunteers and so on. But so in 1916, the Mason tract was purchased. 9 holes were developed there, and then later in 1925, under the leadership of E.E. Roberts, a very popular president, he led the purchase of the Mahoney Farm, which was south of Michelina Road, where the other 9 holes eventually got developed, so that after 1925, we became an 18-hole golf course. I wanted to just mention a couple of the names that were on the original list of members that paid $50 in dues to become White Lake Golf Club members. And these are names that I think you'll all recognize because they're Whitehall names: Butterfield, G, Koval, Dannett, Lewis, Mason, Nelson, and Pitkin. So from 1916, when we had 59 members, on to today, where we finished the year last year with 369 members.
Wow, okay.
Which is really an all-time high. And speaking of our history, we do have a memorial paver program at our club. Behind the first tee, we have paved, inscribed bricks that denote those people, those members, those family members and friends that have gone before us that have passed away. Oh. And so when you're on the first tee, you can wander back there. It's a beautiful tapestry garden next to a garden and a fenced area, and you can look at all the names that are there from the early days on to the present. It's very, very cool. So in 1984, we still owned, the golf club owned the yacht club. And at one point, we were called the White Lake Golf and Yacht Club.
Oh, okay. And that was just as in the 80s?
That was as of 1984. We were not called the Golf and Yacht Club at that time, but earlier in our history, we were called that. They were 2 separate entities in 1984. But in 84, the White Lake Golf Club sold the yacht club to the yacht club, to the sailors.
Oh, okay.
So they became independent from us. And with that money, that $40,000 or whatever, it was probably in today's dollars, $240,000. But anyway, we used that money to put in a fixed pipe, state-of-the-art irrigation system at the golf club. Wow. And so that was a milestone. And then in 2015, through the generosity of the Rick McCombs and his family, we developed the Evan McCombs Memorial Practice Facility and Pavilion, and a very special naming of that pavilion, and the generosity of the McCombs family and in support of developing that. And then in 2021, we developed a master plan for continuous improvement at the golf course. Again, we hired Raymond Hearn. We restored hole 2. We closed it down midsummer. We had contractors come in, built new tees, built a tee all the way back to Michelinda Road. It's almost 400 yards long. It's 2 big hits to get it on the green for me. Yeah. And anyway, the beauty of having these restoration projects is we celebrate. And so when we concluded the work on that, we had celebrity foursomes come out, and it was like being in a professional golf tournament. We had members lining the tees and the fairways and the green.
Oh, that's great.
And the people were so nervous. We had 2 girls from the high school golf team and 2 boys. They were the lead foursomes, and they teed off. And I mean, they hit beautiful shots, and everybody cheered. And then after that came the club flight champions of men and women. And again, I've talked to them about it. They were so nervous, but they performed so well. It was just one of those, where there's emotion, there's a special remembrance. And then from there, we went on to and had a little program at the pavilion in celebration of opening that hole. So since July 5th, this past summer, hole 3 and hole 4 have been closed down. And we anticipate opening them up as warm summer or spring weather warms the ground and the grass grows to the point where we know we can cut the green on number 3. But we have all new tees, we have a new green on number 3, we have all new tees on 4, new fairways, and we put in new greenside bunkers that are state-of-the-art. They're called Billy bunkers. And they have great drainage and so on. But then in addition to that, Ray Hearn, our architect, wanted to change up the look a little bit and accent these holes by having waste areas. And so now, and it's actually a maintenance, it expedites maintenance too. Instead of having to cut grass, you have these huge waste areas that meander around the fairway and the greens between number 2, number 3, and number 4. And so it's going to be a brand new experience for our golfers to go out there and play these holes now because of the waste areas that we have. And again,
not to mention they look amazing.
I bet.
Yes.
I bet they look.
Bill,
yeah,
you're right.
just-
And the contrast between the white sand of the waste area and that beautiful green grass is amazing.
Yep.
So I just want to back up, since we're talking about grass for a second. I wanted to go back and make sure I mentioned that since the beginning of time at White Lake in 1916, we have had the Augustine family as the ground superintendents. And it was Ernie Augustine that started out in 1916. Then his son, Donald Augustine, took over. And then Donald's son, Dale Augustine, took over. And those people worked as our superintendents until 5 years ago when we hired Dylan Berry out of Michigan State University. He has a 4-year agronomy degree. And he is now our ground superintendent. So I want to give a lot of credit to the Augustine family,
Sure.
local family.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And now Dylan Berry, I think Dylan Berry's brought it to the next level with regard to conditioning. And kudos to him to work with all the different contractors that came in during these past couple of years in making the restorations at our golf club. So that's kind of like the history. From here on, we're going to smell the roses in 2024. We're not going to close any holes down. We're going to play golf,
Yay.
all 18 holes. Right. I know everybody's really excited about doing that. And so that's kind of where we are. And
I love hearing about the club. I love hearing the stories, right? I mean, you probably could go on and on about all these different stories and
Absolutely.
and just the rich history of the golf club. Man, if those greens and clubhouse could talk, right? You know, they
Absolutely,
would
yes,
be able to
for
tell
sure.
additional stories.
Oh, yes.
So, and such an iconic location, being so close to not only White Lake, but also Lake Michigan. I think you have definitely gained a reputation for yourselves and the beauty of the course, too. So,
thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
we're really,
Yeah.
we built it.
Yeah.
Your theme.
Yeah,
It's a lot
yeah.
of pride.
Yeah.
We built it. So.
Right. Bill, anything else you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I think that's amazing what we're doing, and the future is looking even better.
Good,
So,
good.
Yes. Very
We,
much so.
the Chamber of Commerce has an annual golf classic.
Yes.
And we have had it at the golf
Yeah.
club several times. It's among some of our favorites. Just
Right.
we love going there, and we look forward to the next time
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah, we look forward to you coming, and once we get the 2 holes open, it'd be
Yes.
amazing to see you guys out there again.
So, with these stories and with this history come those challenges. What do you feel have been some of the biggest hurdles since 1916 that the golf club has overcome or has encountered?
Sure. Well, economic times, when economic times aren't as good, membership goes down.
Okay, yeah.
And we've experienced that over the years. And, the good news about COVID is people want to be outside.
Yeah.
Golf became extremely popular, internationally popular. And if there's one bright thing about COVID, but during the COVID time, of course, I could still see Bill and his crew, every cart that went out had to be sanitized before that went back out again.
Right.
And we had partitions, and I mean, it was just unbelievable. We all went through
Right.
in the golf industry and anywhere during COVID, in the retail business or whatever. So, those were tough times. It's nice that that's behind us now. But again, the beauty of COVID was that people wanted to be outdoors. They could walk, smell the beautiful air, and hit golf balls and be social distancing and have a life.
Yeah.
So that was a real positive. So again, the challenges were during economic times, people would say, well, that's something I can live without paying my dues at a golf course. But in good times, it's been really good for us.
Great.
Yeah.
Bill, share with our viewers some of the programs that are offered at the golf club.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the programs that we're running at the golf course, definitely junior golf comes to first in mind.
Okay.
In 1995, when I first started, I volunteered with Coach Greg Boughton with the boys golf team.
Yeah.
And I have to mention that he's been the golf coach there for 50 years before he retired.
Wow.
Which is an amazing thing. I think he's the longest tenure coach, definitely in the state. And then I took over after he decided to retire. We took over the boys coach, and then we added the girls golf team.
Okay.
And so we were doing really well with the girls golf team. I think we coached together for 7 years together for the girls golf team, and they went to state, I think, 5 out of that 7 years, and now I think we're somewhere around 7 out of 9 years right now. So definitely the boys and girls golf team from Whitehall is definitely a big part of White Lake Golf Club for sure, and they've been playing out there for as long as I can remember.
Yeah. You think of, the hundreds of students that you have
Right.
had, through
Yes.
those programs. And there are hundreds of golfers still that probably can say, I got my start at White Lake Golf Club, or I remember when.
Absolutely.
And so, I think back then, with those, the junior golf club, you were starting to create those memories, but also really instilling the sport itself.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And we utilize the boys and girls golf team, and most of them become employees of the golf course.
Oh, sure.
They're for first job out, you know what I mean? So we put them to work, and they love being out there, and then we see them later. Eventually they become members of the golf course, that kind of thing too. Part of that junior golf program is we have a George Hartman award that we award to the boys and girls golf team. And it was always a boys award. And then Jim McCall and some of his family was part of the George Hartman group. And he raised enough funds so we could award a girls George Hartman Award as well, which is a scholarship that they get to one outstanding individual from the boys and the girls golf team. So that's always fun to present at year end.
I think of that George Hartman trophy as the Stanley Cup of golfers. From
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. The names on that trophy are special, and they go back years and years and years.
Absolutely. It's great to look over those, and they get to keep the trophy for an entire year and bring it back so we can award it to the next person. The White Lake Junior Golf Foundation is something that was just recently started. Do you remember the year, Frank, on that?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. And they are a big contributor, not only the boys and girls golf team of Whitehall, but also Montague. So they are, we're trying to get out to the community, both Whitehall and Montague, and supporting their golf teams, and also supporting other activities that we do at the golf course, not only here, but over at Old Channel Trail as well.
Oh, nice.
Where we're supporting their junior golf program, and we offer a junior golf program that's excelling right now for it's called Operation 36. I encourage all the viewers to look into that.
Yeah.
It is a great program that will teach junior golfer we start at 7, that they can go all the way up to 17 or 18, and we start very close to the green and work backwards. So we teach them how to play the game. Obviously, there's instruction and swing and etiquette and rules and all those things. But it's a program that we start 25 yards away from the green. They have a target score of 36 for 9 holes, and then they go back to 50 yards and then 100 yards. And hopefully, eventually, they make it all the way back to the tee box shooting 36.
What an interesting concept. That's a great model.
It is a fantastic model, and there's an app that goes with it, so they can do whatever we learned in class. They take it home and they can review it, and it speeds the process of them learning, which makes it very fun for them as well. Yep. We are doing a drive, chip, and putt. This is our second year of drive, chip, and putt, which is a national program.
PGA program, right?
National PGA program, yeah. You have to have a PGA member to host a local qualifier. And this year's event is going to be on June 15. And we get individuals really from all over. That I think we had right around 50 participants last year. And they're coming from all over, right? Because we're a local qualifier. If they're in town from Chicago or California or whatever, they can participate in it.
All right.
And since we're the local qualifier, then they go to like a regional qualifier, and then hopefully at some point they make it onto TV where they actually do it at the Masters, the finals at the Masters, which we always love seeing for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So we are definitely looking forward to that. We do a first tee marathon for the West Michigan first tee. The West Michigan first tee, is that what it's called?
Yes, it is.
And so they come out and do, play as many holes as they can to raise funds for their program.
Okay.
They also hold a weekly clinic at our facility for training their younger group of junior golfers that eventually go into other programs such as ours or, high school programs as well. So it's always fun to have them and see the younger groups coming in. A group of us started a junior golf tour. It's called the Greater Muskegon Junior Tour. And a group of golf courses got together. We must be year 7 now, somewhere in that ballpark. And with all good programs, they tend to dwindle a little bit. So I ended up taking it over pretty much. We built a little website for it. And it's basically a developmental tour that we can start kids, in that 7 age group, somewhere in there. We do have some younger kids. They play a very short golf course. But it's really to develop the individuals so they can play on high school golf teams or beyond, right?
Yeah.
And it's a great program. We go to different golf courses in the area, even up into Oceana County, but we call it the Greater Muskegon Junior Tour. And we get somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 50 kids at each event, which is amazing,
Yeah.
So you can tell that junior golf is a big part of what we do at White Lake.
I love that. That's starting where it needs to start, right?
Yeah.
The interest in development of the...
Growing the game.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And we offer discount programs for membership, not only at White Lake Golf Club, but also at Old Channel Trail we started this year.
All right.
So they have to be a graduate or a student of Whitehall or Montague, and they can apply to become a member either at White Lake or over at Old Channel Trail. And it's basically the foundation, the White Lake Junior Golf Foundation, will pay half of their membership fee.
Okay.
So they can apply for those things, I believe, right through the website.
Okay.
Also the White Lake Junior Golf Foundation website too.
You've mentioned a couple of times the partnership with other golf courses, and that's so admirable. And just to see that collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the main thing is we want to see golf grow, right? And this is a direct way that we can do that and support other golf courses. And, we're all in it together to excel. And we're finding that's, becoming really rewarding. And, to seeing these junior golfers go through these programs and eventually become adult golfers, which is really the whole goal, right? Keep them playing.
Yeah.
There is definitely opportunities, to donate to the White Lake Junior Golf Foundation. So that is a huge component where they can help other programs out there. And I think in the future, they're looking to grow that to other golf courses and maybe do more for our junior golfers, which is great. Yeah.
And the Junior Golf Foundation is a 501c3.
Yeah.
So a little more incentive for some people to make donations.
Right. Absolutely.
Because of the tax benefits. So.
Right.
Great.
They have a website that's WLJGfoundation.org.
Okay.
Some of the activities that we do at the golf course directly for White Lake is we have a outstanding Women's Golf Association that plays every Tuesday morning. You can become a member of that if you're a member of the golf course. They play 9 holes. There's a 9-hole group and there's an 18-hole group. The 9-hole group is maybe a little bit more social aspect of it, where the 18 might be a little bit more competitive type crowd. But that's been going on, gosh, do you know, Frank? Forever, yeah.
Yeah, but
exactly.
Ladies' Day, Tuesday morning, Ladies' Day.
Yeah.
And it's very cool. Yeah.
Yep. And obviously with the Ladies' Day, they have a ladies member guest, and we do that on a Tuesday morning. And last year we had 60 teams, which is the highest ever. 30 teams.
But 60 golfers.
But 60 golfers, yes. But and that's been the highest that we can remember. They usually do a little cocktail party before, on the day before. We expose the pairings, and then come out Saturday or Tuesday morning, and then go ahead and do their game, and then have a little lunch over at the pavilion afterwards, and we do the awards and things out there. We have an outstanding men's league that we started a few years back. That is, I think we have in the neighborhood of 50 plus golfers in that. Actually, probably more than
Takes
that.
over the whole course,
Yeah.
both front and back
Both
nines.
front and back.
Every Monday evening.
Okay.
Yep. 5:30 shotguns and 6 o'clock shotguns, and I know the groups have been awesome, and they get together afterwards and tell stories about their rounds of golf and those kinds of things. But that's been a great addition.
You had already touched on another great asset within your club, and that's the pavilion. Share with our viewers just a little bit about where that is and what that means to your club.
Sure. Well, the pavilion is located at the Evan McCombs practice facility. The beauty of the pavilion is it is isolated from everything. You hear no traffic noise from Michelinda Road. It's in the woods, and you have this incredible view from the pavilion of the holes that are south of Michelinda. The long shadows of the morning and the long shadows of the evening are it's like Renoir paintings. It's unbelievable. It's so beautiful. And so you have this pristine place to have social activities. And we have them. We have our annual party there, but we've had smaller venue parties. We've had the Chamber Music Festival. We've hosted that a few years out there. Talk about beautiful music through the woods.
Right.
Sure.
Just amazing.
Absolutely.
Often, while the music's playing, the deer will come out and prance around the
Practice range.
practice range a little bit. So it's really been, we have a pretty minimal pro shop and clubhouse. We did turn the old cafe into a lounging area. It's called the E.E. Roberts Room, in honor of the president that took it to the next level and got our 18 holes in 1925. But so we don't really have a clubhouse, a banquet place or whatever, but the pavilion has given us that. And, we have some special things out there. We have some memorials out there, not just to Evan McCombs, but the American flag that flies there is a memorial to Rob Schwartz. And we have the sidewalk that meanders up from the parking lot to the pavilion it's called the T-Bear Trail. It's a memorial to Tom Berry, longtime member at White Lake Golf Club. So it's just got, and then of course CatchMark came in and they put a big screen in there for us.
Nice.
Beautiful big screen. So we can post electronically results of events.
Oh, nice.
And I might add that we have Tom Berry and I in 1991, on the 75th anniversary of our club, did a video of the club championship matches, the last matches. And that came out of the cobwebs. We found the VHS, we converted it to thumb drives, and now we have that posted on YouTube. So you can watch, and it's a walk down memory lane of the membership, in 1991. And lots of humor, lots of great pictures of the old golf carts and the course the way it was that many years ago. So
Right.
we had mentioned earlier, we also have the restoration video, the before, during, and after of restoring holes 3 and 4. And I understand you may be able to tag that on to the end of this podcast
Yeah,
for people
so-
to view.
Absolutely.
And it
Absolutely.
is really spectacular. Again, CatchMark did the drone video for us, so before, during, and after. So
Yeah.
it came out really well.
Great.
And all of those things are on our website, whitelakegolfclub.com, and all the social media
Excellent.
tags on there as well.
Great.
And by the way, if nobody's been on our website yet, it is a
Work of art.
It is a work of art. It is anything and everything you want to know about White Lake Golf Club is on that website.
A history of the hole-in-ones and who got them.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
this is one example.
Yeah.
Results of all the events.
Correct.
An archive of communications that have gone out to the members. Just real quickly, I got to touch on a couple of the activities.
Please.
We had the Lou Iverson Memorial Tournament. He was a longtime pro before Bill at White Lake Golf Club. And so we had it's a 4th of July, two-person best ball.
Okay.
Men and women. And you can just pick your partner and go. And it's gotten, it has lots of momentum. It just continues every year to get more and more popular. We have a American flag that flies on the 18th hole instead of just the White Lake Golf Club flag on the flagstick. We have an American flag to accent the holiday and so on. But of late, Mark Iverson, Lou Iverson's, one of his sons, comes back with his family, and they host the first tee. They're meeting and greeting. This year, they're going to take it to the next level. They want to serve some sort of a breakfast buffet
that's
for
awesome.
everybody
Yeah.
that participates in it.
Very cool.
So, and then we have spring match play. We have club championships, and we have two other great tournaments. One is called Two Queens and Two Kings, and I play at it every year, and it's so much fun because it's a step-aside tournament. If you can't hit 2 shots in a row, so you have to step aside so that it makes it fair and spreads the responsibility to be successful across the whole foursome. It's a riot and is extremely popular.
Absolutely.
And then we turn in the summer we have a hole-in-one tournament where we turn all of our holes into par 3 holes. So instead of starting on number 1, 525 yards, you drive your cart all the way up next to the creek and you start maybe from 125 yards. And that's true of every hole. So every hole is a par 3. And we have great prizes for those people that if you should get a hole in one, you get a complimentary cart plan for the next year, which is worth about $800.
Okay.
Yep.
It's happened twice, maybe 3 times. I know Rick Scott and I got a hole in one a few years back, and then
So on the regular par 3s, hole
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
that's the cart plan. And
Yeah.
then if you make a hole in one on any of the other holes,
Yeah.
you get 10 green fees that you can bring guests.
guest fees. Yeah.
Clever.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
creative.
It's really a very popular
Yeah.
event. Yeah.
So
So
we've had 3 hole-in-ones in the number of years that we've run that
Yeah.
event. Not on a normal par 3 that we
Okay,
have, but
sure.
on one of the other holes, which is great.
Well, as we wrap up and conclude, what kind of parting thought or what additional item would you like to share?
well, I don't know if Bill has anything, but I have to say that this is a phrase that Bill has coined over the years, that White Lake Golf Club is the most affordable golf club in West Michigan. And we have categories of memberships broken down by age. So, the less expensive the younger you are. And you get to be 40, then you're going to pay full dues from there. We have a system also in our membership where you start as an associate, and then if you would like to become a stock member, an owner of the piece of the pie, so to speak, with the ability then to attend at the annual meeting and so on, and be more active with the administration of the club, you can then you can seek nomination to become a stock member, approved by the board, and become a stock member. So there's many opportunities to find your way into the White Lake Golf Club as a member. I got to quote. I'm going to quote John Blythe, the late John Blythe, member of White Lake Golf Club. He, the power of a handwritten note. He wrote me a note several years ago, thanking the board for making the White Lake Golf Club the club that it is today, that it enhances the quality of life for so many in this community. And I think that's kind of what I'd like to end this on, the fact that everything you heard Bill say and me say, it's really about the community. It's about how do we interact with junior golf, with from 7 to 17-year-olds, but from beginners to we have senior golf memberships. So I mean, the whole gamut of life, and the preciousness of our history that's displayed in the tapestry of memorial pavers behind the first tee. Those kinds of things are the most meaningful. The memories, the friendships, the interactions. So I guess that's kind of how I'd like to end it. But
Sure.
I would also like to thank you, Amy, for having us here as part of this. And I would
Absolutely.
we would like to present you with this history book.
Oh, that's
It's
beautiful.
a coffee table book. It's our first 100 years.
Oh, I love that. I
And
think I've
it's
seen
a
that.
great read.
Oh, I love it. I do not
Names
have
and
that in the
faces.
chamber. Oh.
And there's some humor in here.
Sure.
You'll see Dale Augustine wrestling an enormous snapping turtle out of a drainage pipe and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
for you to keep
Thank you.
personally, or
This is
put it in the
beautiful.
chamber. Yeah.
Nice. And I also, they brought up another prop that I just wanted to share, part of your marketing materials. So very nice. Thank you for the gift.
Yeah,
This
you're
is
welcome.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. Really
yes.
appreciate it.
Good.
If anybody wants to reach out, and as far as membership is concerned, whitelakegolfclub.com. And, if they ever want to apply for membership, it takes
Okay.
us about 24 to 48 hours to turn it around.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Our pleasure.
And the impact that the golf club has had in the community is very admirable and very appreciated. And thank you for taking the time to share with our viewers. And thank you to our viewers for joining in. Once again, if you have any additional questions or interest, be sure to check out their website and their social media presence. Once again, We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.